It is always pure joy to be here on The Middlemen of Jurors. I am Juror Olajumoke Alaode James. On the show today, the jurors are ready to take some big issues head on. Juror Emeka Madunagu will be cutting inches deep into the body politic of Nigerian democracy, while Juror Cyril Abaku will be talking about the lie of Dubai that he believes is being designed to become the truth of Baku. It's a story you want to listen to. The juror from Rabbi Evans Ufeli has only joined us today after a trip to the mountaintop of cosmic encounters. Anyways, he's always at home there. I will be making a case for justice for Fidelis Osaghae. All of these cases right after the short break. We'll be right back. Do not go anywhere.
Middleman.
My case. Justice for Fidelis Osaghae. I always pray Nigeria not to happen to me, and everyone answers amen. You get why? Justice for Fidelis trended on X last week, and if you read the tweets, Nigeria happened again. Mrs. Esther Fidelis Osaghae, widow of Mr. Fidelis Osaghae, reported on the Flagit app, an app created by the Akinfade Foundation for reporting official corruption in Nigeria, that her husband, who worked with Mr. Oyemika Valentine in his hotel in Auchi, Edo State, left for work at about 1 p.m. on Sunday, the 28th of July 2024. He ran into the house at 2:30 a.m. on Monday, the 29th of July 2024, and informed his wife that Mr. Valentine, his boss, told him to bring something back to work. He left immediately, saying, "I will be back soon." He never returned. He didn't pick his calls. Frantic, his wife called his colleague Tracy, a supervisor at the same hotel. Tracy assured her everything is under control and dropped the call. At 6 a.m., Esther got a call from Fidelis' boss, Mr. Valentine, to come to a hospital. Esther is nursing a 2-month-old baby. Her sister offered to go to the hospital in her stead. On reaching there, she met Fidelis' body in Mr. Oyemike Valentine's car. The hospital had refused to accept his body because, according to them, he was brought in dead. Esther had to go and identify her husband's body. Upon observation, Esther and her sister noticed strange marks and injuries on Fidelis' body. DPO of the Auchi Division, Edo State, seemed to support Mr. Oyemike Valentine and told Fidelis' family not to suspect Mr. Valentine of murder. Instead, he told the wife and the sister-in-law to be reporting to the police station regularly. What really happened to Fidelis? When the matter was reported on the Flagit app, the Akinfade Foundation wrote the IG of police asking for the case to be moved out of the Auchi Police Division. A press conference was held after that. I called Mr. Oyemike Valentine for his side of the story, and he said he couldn't make any comments since the police were investigating the matter. This is my verdict. This case reminds me of the death of Mohbad. Just 1 year after his wedding, Fidelis, a 33-year-old, is dead. His boss says he comes in the office between 2:30 a.m. and 5 a.m., even though his body had lacerations and his trousers torn. The police told Fidelis' father that autopsy is expensive, and Fidelis' father was going to give up on the case because he couldn't afford autopsy, if not that the Akinfade Foundation stepped in. Shouldn't autopsies be automatic in a case like this? Or like in Mohbad's case, we wait for public outcry and then exhume a buried body for autopsy? Justice for Fidelis.
Police, all saddens me that the police are usually very ready to be agents of oppression against the same Nigerians suffering the same thing as the police. I wonder what kind of psychological, inclination you can, attribute that to. You see a policeman who is even putting on maybe rubber slippers, but he is ready to take on the very victims of the same thing affecting him. And you just wonder why. Why would the police be telling the wife that you cannot, that they don't need for an autopsy? A DPO who still has a long way, maybe has a long way to go in the police, and he doesn't know what awaits him ahead.
Jurors, why isn't autopsy automatic?
Well, this case perhaps looked like a suspected case of concealed evidence. Autopsy there's no legislation upon death that autopsy should be automatic. Autopsy is a product of investigation.
Okay.
It's a product of evidence to ascertain the cause of death. But even at that, it appears that the police and the suspect, that is the boss of the demise, from their pronouncements, okay, they have demonstrated that they are suspects of a supposed concealed evidence. The only thing we can look at in this case is that the court or the investigation is going to derive its content from circumstantial evidence, because the report from the boss said that he committed sniper. And this was someone who came home
and said, my boss told me to bring something.
And he ran back. Okay. He was healthy from what I could see in the circumstances. And he went back and never came back to life again. In law, there's what they call dying declaration. Dying declaration is when, for example, a disease is shot and he made a proclamation. John has killed me. Or he's strangling me or something. Any pronouncement made before death is what we call dying declaration or register in evidence. That expression, my boss asked me to bring something, was the only expression he made before his demise. And that expression from law, he mentioned my boss. So it does not matter whatever comes after it, my boss. So what it means is that the boss is the principal suspect. If they accept that the police are already being biased, if you stick to investigation, definitely you will come to the truth of this matter. And that is by autopsy or by witness statements.
Okay.
Or by, there is a colleague of hers whom the wife called, who said everything is under control.
Tracy.
What are those things
that was under control?
What happened that brought that expression that things are under control? So we need to look into this matter deeply. And let me say that this matter should be taken away from the Nigerian police.
No, but
yes, I'm just telling you.
But of course, yes.
Who investigates?
They appear to be
biased.
So
who will you take it to?
The police is not the only authority. The police is not the only authority that investigates. You can bring these civil defense to investigate.
Oh, really?
You can bring DSS can investigate. Private investigators can investigate. But they will hand over prosecution.
To the police?
Yes.
Okay.
But they can. So I think this is what, because, or the IG
take over
the case. And
which is what the foundation that took on the matter is asking for.
Okay, they're asking for the IG to take
over the case. That they are not, they don't have confidence in the Auchi police division. Because this gentleman seems like a politician who is powerful.
With a petition, the file will transfer.
But I mean, we can already see, it reminds me of when an election day last year, former Minister of Transportation came out and said, INEC didn't conduct this election. It was us versus INEC. And when the
results came out,
has become an enemy. So we are seeing a similar thing playing out here. The way the police is, and there are many Fidelis Osaghae everywhere in this country.
Which is why I brought the case.
Yeah, people being oppressed and killed.
Yes.
Oppressed and killed. And you hear what the police will tell you. They are the ones discouraging you from pursuing justice. Even if what we are now suspecting isn't the case, I think it is the facts that should speak.
Sure.
Not the opinion of an institution.
Is it the police that pay for
autopsy?
I
don't know that's expensive.
Exactly. So that's
telling the father of the disease that you are going to get death certificate, you are going to do this, you are going to do autopsy.
The dysfunction.
And the poor man just said,
the dysfunction. Yes. So this sort of dysfunction is best addressed by alternative means of getting justice. Because anything other than that, I mean, look at this is a lady who just got married. They have a baby who is an infant, and then this sort of tragedy just falls upon them. See how curious the issues are. My boss said
everything is under control. What do you really mean by this?
Mm.
And now somebody is dead, and everything we are doing is post-mortem conversation.
True.
Okay? So until until we learn to serve justice, evil will continue.
True.
What does justice to this to basically at least limit the possibilities and potential of evil happening? But the way we are treating, and like I said, there are many
Fidelis.
of them. That young man that traveled to Ile-Ife for
masters. He went to do his examination.
Mm.
And then the rest we had.
Entrance examination.
Yes, and then the rest we had was
if I guess what? He could have easily died and the case be
nobody have known anything about it.
Because the owner of the hotel is a powerful man.
So many cases that if not that the spirit and the soul of
You
man
remember Otokoto?
is that strong. So we have many of these cases swept under the carpet.
You remember Otokoto?
Yes.
That's a long time though. You know, so I think that's something which I think that it shouldn't just be another statistic. Hopefully, the Fidelis Foundation will do everything it can based on legal counsel and see this matter to a logical conclusion, because the fewer, you see, government has relinquished its work as representatives, defenders, protectors of the people.
Wow.
And so, yes, public interest lawyers and public interest advocates have to be the one now stepping in, CSOs, stepping in to defend the rights of the poor. And I mean, for one, I think the foundation deserves commendation and the support and persuasion and the encouragement to push this matter to a local conclusion, and hopefully justice is said so that people like this don't roam free.
I agree.
Because what they do to Fidelis, they do to many more others.
I agree.
And that's a very bad one.
It's sad that government has abandoned its own primary duties. We leave health to WHO, we leave education to UNICEF, and then justice is left to CSOs. Then what is the role of government?
Terrible.
Sad. When we come back, Jura Cyril Abaku will be linking the right to Baku. But what's there? Stay with us to find out. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back. You're still watching The Middleman. My case, the lie about Dubai, truth about Baku. The Nigerian government is at it again. This time, it has brought its case to what I suppose it considers a gullible public, a confessor nation. The federal government is acknowledging now that they wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars at the Conference of Parties, COP28 in Dubai last year, including, for instance, nearly $500,000 spent on a showcase pavilion, in addition to a number of wasteful subcontracts and consultancies, among many other avoidable expenses. Chief of them being the sponsorship of a scandalous 1,411 delegates, which made them become joint third behind conference hosts the UAE and Brazil among the countries present at COP28. But let not have the trouble, dear viewer. An audit said to have been commissioned by Mr. President revealed what has now been revealed. In fact, blessed are those who are just getting to know, because those who always knew already know why an otherwise unheeding regime has suddenly become penitent. Another COP is coming, this time in Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan. That's where the next conference of parties, COP29, will hold, at the Olympic Stadium located at Heydar Aliyev 323 Baku, Azerbaijan. But Nigeria wants to prepare really well this time around. Ajuri Ngelale, the president's spokesperson, said President Tinubu has already set up what he called an efficient and prudent system for the trip to Baku. They won't go again. That's the reason for this confession. Nothing more. Just a dubious confession. Verdict. We have a right to know how the waste of COP28 was really incurred and what exactly will be done to those responsible. Met punishment where necessary, and let's sit back to define what strategic advantage we can draw from COP outings and determine exactly how we can achieve that without spending criminally outrageous sums. I so rule.
So let us even start with the exhibition standards COP28 that we spend billions on pavilion. Look, I do events. I know that exhibition stand very well. It did not cost up to how much they charged us for, and it was a disgrace to Nigeria, that other countries are exhibiting futuristically and we were exhibiting from the past, for the costs at the price of which even the future will say, Nigerians, what are you doing? Then our delegates, a lot of them had no business at all going. We are now getting ready to go to Baku. To go and do what? It looks like our political elites are very interested in traveling only for Esther codes, not to do anything that interests or is of benefit to Nigeria. It's pretty much about their own pockets. How much will I get? Remember, Dubai had cancelled all visas from Nigerians at the time we went to COP28. So it seems like, do you know any government official? Quickly go and tell them to give me a slot. I want to go to Dubai. Was what we did with COP28. Unfortunately, I do not have the confidence to even advise that COP29 will be better. Why do I say so? We spent 90 billion sending people to Hajj. They are still investigating the matter. I think they have sacked the commission's head. How many billions did we spend to go to Olympics without any medal?
12 billion.
See, that is not even as much as going to Hajj. You see, we spend less going for sports. Yes. And then our rider,
our still committing sin.
Our rider in the Olympics did not have
the money. Don't save with it.
Our rider during the Olympics did not have a bicycle.
The minister explained that the one they ordered,
I remember it was it the last Olympics 2020 or 2016 that the Nigerian team that was going to play, or was it World Cup? It had to be Mikel Obi to fund their transportation because the minister I got that what's his name? I got ahead of them. He was in America. They got stuck in their transit.
You see this scoop thing we're hearing about now. This thing is also be, is it not the conference on climate change?
Climate change.
That's what it's about. Okay, so now we're planning to go to that. This president or this government have almost turned that into a festival.
Yes,
but that's what it looked like.
Yes, no.
Then the same Adrian Gilari who lied to us.
That one is like
when they went to the former one, is the one now addressing Nigerians now on
telling us that they are preparing for another one.
That the president has set up what a committee to minimize cost for the purpose of that, and the country where.
What was the outcome of the last one they went to?
There's no outcome. People are still defecating on the expressway. It was on climate change. That's why I took the government to court. But they are quickly responding to you. Lagos State is responding.
Ogun State in court.
Ogun State said that to shut down Market and clean up the whole.
Yeah, but they should file their defense now.
Meaning they should meet you in court.
They have not filed defense. So this action is belated because when we wrote them pre-action notice,
they didn't take any action.
They didn't take any action. So it's painful that on this same climate change, which happens to be one of the SDG goals of the United Nations, now we have turned it to nuisance. Because we are spending money that is even meant for you. If we decide not to go or send few delegates, we can use that money we are spending to take care of the environment.
The delegates, but even if it's only one delegate, so do what?
So we are now.
So go and learn from others.
Why aren't we even negotiating that the venue be in Nigeria?
So we kidnap all the delegates from all over the world.
Because I'm looking at this rush and this. Is it a jamboree? Because it doesn't look like. That's the only thing we're thinking about now. That's one of the projects of this administration. Maybe it's this coup, this thing that is the achievement. That, okay, we'll be going again, and the president now want efficient and minimize costs and all that. So these things don't matter. It don't mean anything to us.
I agree.
We need to, first of all, create a livable environment for the people. Spend all this money on your citizens. It's that easy. You cannot take what belongs to our Commonwealth.
Jura from Rabbi.
You use it to buy jets. Use that jet to park news and
that was where I was going to.
Reform.
You sold
and you say it's a national pride.
You sold a 19-year-old jet that 4 presidents used.
4 presidents.
Yaradua. Jonathan Buhari
Yes.
used for 19 years. Then you now went to buy
A 15-year-old
jet, 15-year-old
That
was seized
that
that was seized from a debtor.
Yes.
Where is the economic sense?
Ewo,
And
penny wise pound foolish.
so what it means that you have bought something that will even be polluting environment.
Yes.
That will be more expensive to maintain, because if you look at it, like somebody was saying that a Boeing is easier and cheaper to maintain as a used aircraft and reformed aircraft than an Airbus.
You want the
So,
president to die?
What we are doing, no, it's not about dying now. It's not, why should
I'm
we-
quoting Bayo Onanuga.
No, that should tell you. Bayo Onanuga was recruited for his nuisance value. Not
Ewo,
for any.
Yeah.
Quote me anywhere.
For nuisance, yes.
He's my friend, so he's not listen. I mean, quote me anywhere.
Oga Bayo, I didn't hear that one.
So
You say it's your nuisance value.
for nuisance value.
That's nuisance value.
I mean, for even the media to have quoted Bayo Onanuga is also a big disgrace.
It's a decline.
Bayo Onanuga is not an aeronautical engineer. Bayo Onanuga doesn't sell aircraft. I remember when in 2000, when Obasanjo wanted to buy that presidential jet, that Boeing business jet, we went after him in the media. We threw the kitchen sink at Obasanjo. I remember calling one company, was it in Norway, called them on the phone. And I'm interested, you know, blah, 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 blah. They gave me details and everything. We hit that one. We were just following Obasanjo. But on this one, the media appears.
Secrecy.
The media has gone to sleep.
The Nigerian media is in serious debilitation. They are seriously, you know, when somebody
Media ownership, sir.
and the person and their feet out.
Media ownership.
No, but the same media, the same owners that had the media when we
They were in opposition.
opposition then.
They were in
But
opposition.
they are completely worn out now.
They are better in opposition than in power.
That's actually what they use to find their way through.
I said they are better as
I
opposition.
remember that when, you know, but we had to contend with our bosses, Remi Oyo, Tunji Oseni. I remember one night when Obasanjo's plane was landing at Abuja.
At Punch?
Yes. His aircraft was landing and the lights went off.
Yes.
The entire lights went off.
They switch off the
Of course, when we called Abuja, no, please, don't report that story. I said, sir, unless you want me to lose my job this night, then see that story, oh, sorry, you may never talk to me or forever and ever, but that story is going. And of course, the story where the next day, Obasanjo really lost his temper and all that. But the thing is this, you see, when you look at things about environment and all of this, we tend to think that, okay, that issues about environment is only about refuse and all of that. But we forget that these aircraft are flying all over the place. You know,
Pollution.
Waste.
Yeah.
And don't forget, they also dump urine and all this as they're in flight. They get some places, they dump those things.
Yeah.
It's a lie, oh. No, how can? They'll be dumping it inside water, for instance.
Let me tell you, you see, there are things that, as you know, these aircraft fly, they have to discharge.
It's a lie, oh.
Now, go on to also the kind of vehicles that you have on the road. So many Tokumbo vehicles coming in.
I agree with that one.
Laptops, computers, name them, cameras and all of that.
All sorts of emission.
And now, Azerbaijan, are they suffering as much as we are? Like, you know, Joe Rabbi said, why don't they come and host it here?
So that we can kidnap all the delegates.
No, you don't have to.
No, it's not that bad now.
But you see,
It's not that bad.
because they're holding.
It's not that bad in Abuja.
How many people can kidnap us?
So Emir of Sokoto that was killed after 60 million ransom was paid, and only his son was released. They haven't released his corpse. So
You see,
No, they've done the better now.
That
But the government
looks,
is quiet.
that thing looks
General has good view.
that thing looks positive. But you see, the issue about climate change is that it's just basically more political than all of.
I agree. I agree.
What benefits is Africa? What benefits Africa?
they claim that even international organizations discussing climate change is about politics.
No, you see, but I agree totally with, I think, the director from Rabbi, when he said that they've turned this into a festival.
A jamboree.
The Nigerian,
Festival.
yes, the Nigerian government, if you look at them, they are only interested in, you know, when you're not sitting down to think strategically, you look for the next party to attend, the
True.
next outing.
Oh,
But yeah, that's what they are.
That's what they are doing.
Otherwise,
I know them.
a government that is otherwise very society in its own ways, is suddenly coming out to admit that it was at fault.
that-
When
So that when you forgive them, you know, when you forgive
No,
them,
they can
no,
commit
no,
the
no,
one. Or you know the good thing is that you see, in this day and age when news has become, news headlines are changing so quickly. Just as they thought that Nigerians were digesting, then the next news came that Zonchen has seized another aircraft in another Nigerian aircraft.
Why now?
Canada is a property too now.
Why?
On eBay. So
No,
what is that?
is going to sell it.
Shema, I've started learning Chinese.
No,
they are your next colonial man.
You see the motivation for this second coup is that new jet too. That's the motivation.
They were going to use it to counterbalance the jet.
Now that they've announced to the world that the Chinese will go there and wait for them and levy execution on it.
Yes.
As they drop from the airport, all of them will go and attend that. When they come back, they will get it. Knowing that you are fired up and that. Why are you fired up? Somebody
You have 2 buildings you claim were being used for smuggler matter, but they were able to get the information, the documents that
you
were using these things, and the people you are using them to have no business in Nigeria.
Julius, the president is on work stay in France.
No.
So what Nigeria should have done?
Also, what has been moved to
What Nigeria should have done, since it has committed too many sins, Nigeria should stop buying buildings. They should be leasing buildings. So that when they come to levy execution, you tell them that lease is not my
Not be my own. Now your sister get them all.
So if there's anything they want to levy, let them come.
Julius, let's go home.
To levy.
Anyways, this is such a very heart-rending situation we find ourselves. We just hope that someday we become a nation of sensible thinkers and people who just want to do the right things and get these things done the right way. When we return, Juro Emeka Madunago will be telling us why democracy without Democrats is such a farce. Stay with us.
You're welcome back. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. My case, democracy without Democrats, as a farce. Democracy in its ordinary meaning is about the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It therefore presupposes that democracy must at all times be about the people. Therefore, those who seek to get into government in a democracy must harbor and exhibit democratic tendencies. However, what we have witnessed in the last quarter of a century of civilian governance has been a farcical attempt to sustain democracy without Democrats. Sadly, so we might say. Or how else do you define the mind-blowing stealing of public funds, misgovernance, trenchant abuse of power, disregard for the rule of law, and its guiding tenets of accountability, transparency, and probity? The fight to end military rule was hard, long, and sustained. Sadly, we have exchanged military despots for civilian and undemocratic tyrants. This is the reason why Nigeria remains poor amid an ocean of possibilities. My verdict. Nigerians must stop offering themselves as willing tools for the subversion of democracy. We cannot purport to practice democracy while enthroning and enabling undemocratic conduct. The due process remains sacrosanct, and every abuser of democratic power must be brought to account someday. It doesn't matter when, but be known that as surely as the sun will continue to rise from the east and set in the west, they will face a day of reckoning. And so
While we're piling up, undemocratic proceedings or procedures in Nigeria for so long, just this government alone, we have over 100
Executive.
We have over 100 protesters now in detention for the
End bad governance.
Last end bad governance. That's undemocratic. We have a government that funds itself at the expense of the people. That is undemocratic.
Wisdom.
Yeah, we have an NNPC, that told us not too long ago that for the past 9 years, they have not paid subsidy. That what they are dealing with is shortfalls from premium motor spirits. That the federal government used to give them money and ask them the price to sell. So, and when this money comes, they will just, take the money the federal government has given them as the shortfall and then sell to This is one of the leaders of the NNPC. What he was saying, therefore, is that the president was lying by saying subsidy is gone. That's the implication. So it's undemocratic. There's no truth. It's either Adrian Gary is saying something in the morning,
and Bayo saying the
opposite. That's undemocratic.
And even Bayo counter the president.
Yes.
A video
that the president's handle on X published, asking us to calm down, right? Bayo saying no, it is old.
It is old. That's not the president and all that. So these are undemocratic behavior from a supposed democratic. This same set of persons are the persons who during the military era and the civilian during Jonathan time and all that. They
fought government after government.
This morning I watched Fashola, that clip where Fashola was talking about serious government.
Yes.
That if this government that's
2014.
That if this government is a serious government, by now they should have fixed power, they should have fixed this, they have fixed that. But that this government is fixated with importation. That's their way. They cannot, manufacture, they cannot do anything.
Then he got into power as minister.
He said that he got into power, they didn't do anything.
That's why they have resigned him now.
That's undemocratic. Now, what is more undemocratic is the citizens' docility.
True. Absolutely,
the citizens, laid back and they are lukewarm, trying to.
Evans, in agreeing with you, if we all agree that the 1999 Constitution as amended is not a democratic constitution because it was handed over to us by the military. All the amendments
there are 4 amendments.
Were made by the same military personnel who removed their uniform to wear Babariga and became civilian leaders. They put themselves in the Senate, they became governors. How would we, the people?
But it's not that constitution that will change Nigeria.
How would we, the people, expect them to do anything for us?
For example, the constitution said that when you are arrested, you should be charged to court within 24 hours.
It doesn't happen here.
Where there's a court of a radius of 40 kilometers. And where there's no court within a radius of 40 kilometers,
you should be charged within 48 hours.
Now, that's in the constitution. Is it obeyed? Is it followed?
No.
So if you write a new one and put that same thing there, will it be obeyed? So the constitution is not, the 1999 constitution as currently constituted, is not a bad document because people just say it's the military. They forget that it was an adaptation of the 1979 constitution, which had its root in democracy.
Why didn't they adapt the 1963 constitution?
Also, the 1979 is an adaptation of the 1960 constitution. That's why you see the federal structure in it. So at the end of the day, it's not about our problem is not constitutional. It's attitudinal. Is it the constitution that says people should defecate on the expressway?
So what should the people be doing differently?
No. This is the issue. 13 or so years of almost unbroken military rule between 1983 and 1999, right? Is quite a long time.
1985.
No. 83.
83, Buhari. Okay.
Babangida.
83 now.
What about Abacha? Then so it was like 13 straight unbroken years, right, of military rule. Would have taken
our attitude.
Yeah, so our psyche with power has largely been framed or formed in a manner of avoid them, steer clear of them. They are in jackboots. They have guns.
True.
So now, when we now cheated to democracy, we have democracy, but we are not helping to build democratization. And let me explain that. It's assumed that democracy ought to bring us closer to government in a more friendly, in a more relatable engagement or relationship. But that has not happened. You know why? Because those who have come into government perhaps now realize that it will pay them more to ride on the cycle of militarization.
True.
Right? You saw Obasanjo came into office. Maybe that also didn't help because the next thing was OD. After OD, Osakibian. So everybody knows that engaging power in the wrong way can bring the worst consequence possible.
Massacre.
Right? So all of that was on the table. Now, agencies of government that ought to help to enable us embrace democracy, they're either underfunded or staffed or just taken out of the picture. So power can be abused, whether we change the constitution or not. But my argument, I support what you said, that you see, the matter is partly constitutional and partly attitudinal, because the issues of constitution are not necessarily about police function or anything. It's about how power is generated and distributed. That matters a whole lot in Nigeria, right? Because today, to be relevant, you must be in Abuja.
True.
The pressure, look at now, we're talking about people sending up to 1,000 more delegates to
COP 29.
Because if you don't go to Abuja, there's nothing for you in Nigeria. So that is part of the problem. Then, we now come to the key question. If we want to operate democracy, how do we produce people with the minds
of democracy?
Of democracy, which we're not doing. It's not there.
You cannot produce that with the flawed electoral system.
Good. So now, so now what we do is to open up the question and say, how do we broaden democratic consciousness, both among the leaders and the led? To be very honest with you, when somebody is hungry, you are expecting that he should be, democracy takes a lot of thought to practice. Democracy was not even designed for people who are not lettered.
It's not designed that way.
Because in a democracy, right, it's about just an options. How do I mean? When you hold your ballot, how do you decide between who to vote for or among who to vote for and who not to vote for? Somebody comes and says free housing. Another person comes and says free
education.
How do you know what to vote for?
And on election day,
you must be a thinker.
They come to buy your vote.
Yes. So in a, when we had at the professor's house, his gate man first went out and brought 35,000 or so from the vote that he sold. He came back and said he is now wealthy, that he has made money.
Yeah.
They said,
yeah, I've never seen that kind of money.
He said, how much will the professor pay? They said, what did you make? In less than 5 minutes, the whole house was empty. Because professor couldn't believe seeing the that and that amount of money. Back then, that was probably what the man spent buying fuel for an entire month or 2 months. Somebody brought back, everybody left the house to go and say, this kind of thing. To go and become
recently, there's another one who was promised so much money by this same APC government. Then he went out to vote, and they gave him 10,000 naira. And he was so bitter, crying.
And he was expecting more.
He saw the pressmen. He went to meet the pressmen. And I asked him, what is wrong with you now? He started, he started, what do you call it? He granted an interview. That they gave me 10,000 naira. I was like,
how much was he expecting?
He was saying it on this is someone who has committed a crime.
Yeah. He doesn't know.
He does not know.
If you don't mind,
this is supposed to be 6 months imprisonment.
Yes.
There's supposed to other
similar case
or both. You are not telling the
similar case.
Now
you remember Anchor?
Yes.
You remember Anchor borrower?
Yes.
Anchor borrower. Under Buhari, they were supposed to give farmers these loans, right?
Loans.
And then you pay back over time to encourage farmers. The farmers did not pay in 2019 after the elections. When they now asked them, they said they thought that Buhari was compensating them for voting him back into power. They have used the money to marry wives. So how are you expecting me to come and pay back? Coming back to the argument of that, you are asking a farmer who is collecting Anchor borrower's loan, doesn't know it's a loan he ought to pay back, and he uses it to marry more wives.
But frankly, because I wanted us to tell a bit on this subject, if the farmer sincerely didn't know and used money to marry more wives, I won't blame the farmer.
The government made them not to know.
Exactly.
Because how did the farmer even qualify
to get the money in the first place?
No, I did Smedan training. I got a certificate.
Do you have voters card?
I had.
You are educated.
You are educated now.
Collect it and not vote for them.
Yes.
But I paid 25,000 to a consultant. They are consultants who do everything and say.
So there's another consultant also collecting money for consulting.
Are you sure those farmers pay consultancy?
So you see, there is a very big attempt, right, by the Nigerian, by power elite, exactly,
weaponize poverty,
to weaponize militarization
Jesus,
as a tool of control against the citizens. So the journey or the distance between the government and the governed is actually wider and farther than we could ever imagine.
That is why they cannot fund education.
What's the solution?
If you fund education, what that will create for them? It will give them a tough time. Because none of them have certificates. Those people,
yes,
those people
they have PhD in public administration.
And then they use wheelbarrow and noodles as empowerment scheme for people.
Very, very sad. Well, the conversation continues. When we return, the juror for Rabbi, Barrister Evans Ifedi, has had an encounter with the oracle, and as a result has a letter from that time travel from the future. Stay with us.
Middleman. Welcome back to the Middleman. My case, a letter from the future. So Rabbi gave me a mental exercise to do, which I completed this month. I lived in my imagination for 30 days, roaming in the future and excavating dreams. I discovered that the universe is a lower resolution of creation, offering the best experience of the human condition, whilst the spirit holds a higher definition of purpose. So I wrote a letter from the future to you. I know you need this. Before you get to the future, you will have understood the dynamics of things ahead of you, so you can walk your way through the hurdles and regimentations thereof. Here is the letter. Dear friends, I write to you from the year 2150, a time when the world has undergone remarkable transformations. As I reflect on the journey we have taken, I am both amazed and humbled by the progress we have made, as well as the challenges we have overcome. When I look back, I see a world that has learned to harness the power of technology in ways that were once unimaginable. Renewable energy sources have become norm, powering our cities and communities with clean, sustainable power. Transportation has been revolutionized with electric vehicles and advanced public transit system, reducing our carbon footprint and making travel more efficient. In the realms of medicine, we have made incredible strides with advancement in genetic engineering, personalized healthcare, and innovative treatment that have extended and enhanced human life. Diseases that were once considered incurable have been vanquished, and we are closer than ever to unlocking the secrets of the human body and mind. But our progress has not been without its challenges. We have had to grapple with the consequences of climate change, adapting our societies and infrastructure to mitigate its impact. We have also had to navigate complex social and political landscape, working to bridge divides and foster greater unity and understanding among all people. Through it all, I am heartened by the resilience and ingenuity of humanity. We have proven our ability to come together, to innovate, and to overcome even the most doubting obstacle. And I believe that this spirit of collaboration and problem solving will continue to shape the future of our world. As we look ahead, I see a future filled with boundless possibilities. Innovation in fields like artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and space exploration will open up new frontiers and unlock new realms of human potential. We will continue to push the boundaries of what is possible, driven by our insatiable curiosity and desire to create a better world for all. Of course, There will be challenges along the way. But I am confident that with our collective wisdom, our passion, and our unwavering determination, we will overcome them and forge a path towards a future that is brighter, more equitable, and more sustainable than anything we have ever known. So, my friends, let us embrace this future with open hearts and open mind. Let us continue to dream, to innovate, and to build a world that we can all be proud of, to leave behind for the generations to come. Yours sincerely, a citizen of the future. My verdict: the future is closer to us than we think. Let the future spread itself before us. I shall go to Rabbi again.
The rabbi tell you.
I mean, this
Rabbi tell you
deserves a round. This deserves a round.
The rabbi tell you that in 2150, Lagos will be underwater.
No, I have gone there and I'm back.
You saw Lagos underwater.
So I have the eschatological divine message which I have delivered. So all things are possible. Your whole life is about to change.
Do you know the interesting thing? It doesn't matter whichever place goes underwater. Because man will be able to live,
To reinvent himself.
to reinvent and live inside water.
Ewo.
There's a hotel in Dubai now. Is that not the
The people in Makoko, they are living inside water.
No. Because the map called dystopian. It's not what you're talking about. The hydrological architecture.
She's drawing me there.
No, the hydrological architecture to require to do what they did in Dubai will take time and greatness. Not when we are destroying our own
Empires don't last
collapsing.
forever. Empires don't last forever. Let me tell you.
Very true.
You see, I have hope in the younger generation. Forget about all this mess that is going on. You see, nature has a way of correcting
Itself.
a lot of nonsense.
True.
I tell you, go and read the biography of JF Kennedy. You will find out that what we have in Nigeria today existed in the United States of America at the time of his father. It was the same type of hopelessness. Vote buying, influence peddling. Why did you have the Chicago underground? How did they come? Chicago underground. The people who had money, who were doing it, without dinners. But J.F. Kennedy, who wasn't even primed to become president, it was actually his elder brother who was in the U.S. Air Force, that his father was priming to become, a senator, a senator and possibly president. But the brother was flying a plane, I think during the Second World War, and he was carrying bombs. He had a plane crash, and in fact, it was devastating. J.F. Kennedy often fell ill. He was often ill. So his father,
Yes, he was also sick.
his father wrote him off. In fact, the only thing the father didn't end up doing was killing him. The father just hated him. But when the brother died, the other brother died. Suddenly, the father said, well, okay, I won't throw away my investment. Okay, let me try. This one I've been managing, let me try. And you know what?
It clicked.
J.F. Kennedy, all that his father did, you will see all that the father did. He got into power as a senator. And then, in time, became president. And you know what? He now delivered that famous cliche. Ask not what
Your country
your
can
country
do.
will do for you, but what you will do for your country. So you see that gradually he took everything about his father's era away. And it was in his time. Was it not in his time that the US went to the moon?
Yes,
Am I
yes,
correct?
Yes.
It was in his time.
Space.
So you see, the world moved away from the world to new realm, just like Rabbi has foreseen. That a country like Nigeria will move away from Nigeria into the future.
It's glorious destiny.
So it's not about.
Amen.
You don't even take. If you look at, I recommend his biography to us. If even Margaret Thatcher's biography, I have a biography too. You see, at that time there were many things. Remember, they had the poll tax trials and all of those things. So they need to imagine that there will come a time in the UK when a lot of things will just suddenly take on a new definition. And that's why you see these race riots. They can't believe that all of a sudden, before their very eyes,
other races, Asians,
Pakistanis
Africans
have become the top property owners in the UK. Nigerians are already climbing up the commodity heights. They can't believe it.
What were they doing? They were sleeping.
No, the elite, the rapacious elite in Nigeria who are busy stealing and grabbing, will be there when something will just happen quietly. No bullet fired, no gunshot. Something will just come and just make all their money and grabbing and everything useless and redundant, and there will be new Nigeria.
Well,
take us to church.
So because this, I've seen this case, right, and we can problematize it.
Okay.
One, for example, this is utopia as dystopia.
Yes.
As utopia.
Yes.
Now, when we want to periodize man's evolution on this plane called Earth, right? There was something the English poet Alexander Pope said. He said, "The greatest problem of mankind is man." You cannot project into the future of man without looking at the darkness of man's own heart and the cataclysms you always bring up from time to time. For example, war. Okay, the war always has one war or the other. Because I look at the case and I'm thinking, if we're problematizing this, there is no way. We're not making room for man's own foibles that are inevitable in human life.
True.
At a point, there could be a Napoleon, there was a Hitler, there was a Stalin, even a Nigeria, there was an Abacha. Now there's a Putin, there's a King of North Korea. So all of these men, one way or the other, I don't know if I was talking about the triumphalism of man in spite of.
Remember we had a Leopold, King Leopold.
Yes,
who killed 10 million Africans.
Again, then you have we even had
we had Pol Pot. Remember we had Pol Pot.
Yes,
we had the Rwandan genocide. Who can name them? We had Alexander the Great, who also did a lot.
And then of course you now have besides man's own foibles, you look at it like COVID. That came and significantly
let me inject some.
There might be another COVID.
Let me inject some.
Maybe not necessarily a health COVID, but a COVID.
Let me inject solution.
Like there was one in 1920.
Let me inject solution into this. Let me inject solution into this. This case is not natural writing that I did here. I do some of this writing in my moments of meditation. So I know that there's a way the present seems to condition you not to believe in the possibility of what can be.
True.
You understand?
True.
So that is why even in scriptures we're asked to renew our mind, because you know that you already have chaos. So this is a case that was produced from what we call in Greek ginosko. Ginosko in Greek means revelation. So from the realm of revelation, I see that despite the darkness in time, I mean, you talked about great nations before now. Do you know that the present Iraq used to be Babylon?
Babylon
that destroyed the whole of Jerusalem at so many times. Okay?
Yes.
So where are they? Rome. I mean, you talk about Turkey today. Turkey used to be, the former Mesopotamia.
Yes.
Okay, where it is believed that the Garden of Eden started from.
Yes.
Okay, the other axis is what we now call Greek today. Okay, so we have all those.
You had Mali.
Yes.
Remember the Library of Timbuktu?
Yes, one of the richest person that ever lived on earth was a Malian, not even an American or whatsoever. You had universities in Egypt far before there was a university in Europe.
You had Muhammad Ali.
Yes, you understand.
So old tyrants.
So sometimes if reliance on what can be by our physical calculation is not producing results, there are higher realms.
Yeah.
Because the earth is just a lower resolution of a bigger dimension. The part we cannot see actually determines the part we can see.
Sure.
Yeah, so no matter how Nigeria, I mean, it is because of poverty. That's how our leaders are stealing. They are poor in spirit and mind.
So do you understand? If I get you well, you mean that we will arrive at this destination in spite of the hurdles?
Yes.
That is what I'm saying.
Yes. That's the revolution.
Okay, fine, because it is right to me. Yes. Like it was all you
See, in Hebrews, by faith you understand that this world was framed by the words of God. So that the things that are seen are not known out of the things that are visible. You understand? So why we look not at the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. But the things that are seen are temporal. The things that are not seen are eternal. So this is not one case let's just put it there. I put this on Facebook.
It's a message to man.
My friends on Facebook.
In conclusion,
my friends on Facebook. No, it's not from church.
It's not church.
My friends on Facebook have said that those ones that wanted to go to Rabbi all the while. I'm not going to take anybody to Rabbi. But the ones that want to go to Rabbi have asked and they are querying, how quick can we get to Rabbi?
We are gone, on this case, we are gone.
We will go to Rabbi when we are ready. So that will be all on the middlemen for today. Thank you, Julius. Thank you, viewers.
You're welcome.
You may follow us across our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. And please do visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Bye for now. Remain blessed.
Middleman. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.